Welcome guys to another episode here on the Man United Daily, and it's a specials, meaning that I'm going to be talking about some sort of transfer news that I myself, or giving my opinion upon transfer targets without really any speculation really about them. And in this one I'm going to be talking about my transfer wish list, which is a video that you guys have been requesting for quite a while, where I give you guys three potential targets that I would perhaps love to see at United, and they don't have to be a concrete kind of like rumours surrounding in the press to make me want these players, but fortunately these players have been in the press, so it looks like that something United is doing something about these transfer targets, and that would be really handy for me personally, because obviously I would like to see these players, and if that come to fruition in real life, then I think we have a great chance of challenging once again for the Champions League, as well as retaining our Premier League hopefully. And also in this transfer video I'm going to be talking about three players that I potentially want to move on from the club, and how I would see them developing with outside the walls of Old Trafford. So firstly I'm going to be talking about the players I would love to come into the club. So the first one I'll be talking about is Kevin Strootman. Obviously a lot of you guys will know who this guy is by now. I've been talking about him extensively over the past few videos in a transfer talk, so you guys know about his abilities. His leadership within the dressing room is well documented. Really well cultured left foot, under 21 player for Holland during the summer. Although he is 23, he was one of their overage players. Strootman has won many caps for the national team, first team already, so that proves his pedigree within the European as well as the international stage. Strootman, his transfer fee is around £15 million, and for that money, like I said, you get a man who is well respected within the dressing room, has a burgeoning reputation within Europe for both his ability and also his command within the pitch. So he gives you that bit of presence, and a lot of you guys will be happy to obtain this sort of player, where he is more of a defensive midfielder, although he can go box to box. Strootman can sit in front of the defence, and then cut out any fires from the opponents when they are threatening our goal. So a lot of you guys has been asking for this sort of rugged defensive type of midfielder, and from all the reports it seemed that a deal is imminent with United and PSV for the signing of Kevin Strootman, and I think it will be a astute piece of business, because like I said, Strootman I think will give us that solidity that we have been missing, and it takes the load and responsibility off a bit of Michael Carrick, who has been occupying that quarterback role. And I think Kevin Strootman, at the age he is, for the price, I think he will be a perfect target for United to help the load, and potentially taking over permanently from Michael Carrick within a few years' time. I'd still think Michael Carrick has a massive role to play, because he's quite an experienced campaigner now. He's 31, so he will offer the dressing room that bit of experience, that winning mentality, and will no doubt help David Moyes. But I think if the likes of Strootman comes in, then it'll help him to settle in, knowing that he doesn't have to play week in, week out. Obviously, because Strootman is a top player, he would want to play that, but I think it will be a great educational process for him to play under Michael Carrick's wing and learn and get to settle in within the Premier League pace, without getting in the fight every single week, knowing that Michael Carrick is a reliable and dependable sort of player that you can take the heat off Strootman when the time is required. So that will be my first wish list player on my wish list, should I say, is Kevin Strootman. And the second one player is, again, no surprise to any of you guys, I'm sure, it's Thiago Alcantara. This deal looks very much like it's happening. I think it's about, if I have to give it a percentage, I would say it's about 85% done. It seems that the release clause is obviously there for the taking, with 15 million pounds for Thiago, and then his wages and all that won't be that much of a problem, I think, for United because of the relative fee that he's receiving right now at Barcelona. But then the problem is now that Barcelona, it seems, are trying to convince him to stay. They have wrapped up a new contract with his brother, Rafinha, his name is. So that could be a leverage to, persuade Thiago to come and stay and, have his family still rooted within the Barcelona ranks. So that could be a potential stalling. But from all the resources and journalists, Spanish journalists like Graham Balagay and Graham Hunter still have maintained their status that Thiago looks very much like he's on his way to United, and I think this will be a positive signing. He's seen as a great player in the Spanish eyes, and I think he'll be a worthy successor to Paul Scholes because of his flair and vision. His vision will offer us that bit more of attacking. I think him and Tom Cleverley can potentially rotate and even play together because they are very similar in style. But again, with the signing of hopefully of Strootman and the continued presence of Carrick will enable us to have that sort of like defensive solidity that either Carrick and Strootman will offer, and also the flair and attacking prowess that Thiago or Cleverley can provide. And I think that will provide a great balance because you need 4 top class players to play in the central midfield role, and to have, although you can play 2 at any one time, obviously you need 4 for rotation and compete in all fronts. So Thiago would be my second choice or second player on my wish list. So my third and final incoming or wish list incoming is Luke Shaw from Southampton. There's been a lot of speculation surrounding the left back area, as you know. In the last few days, there's been bids from United. That's been not been confirmed by the club, obviously, but from placed sources from the Times reporting it and BBC Sport reporting it as well. So I think that gives it a lot of validity in terms of the bid, and it's happening. So for Leighton Baines of Everton, and that's been a long running saga. As you know, Sir Alex has been pursuing Baines for the last couple of years, and David Moyes has been rejecting it. So it's kind of like ironic now that David Moyes is going back to the club, his former club, to pursue Baines once more. Because I think although Patrice Evra is still a great performer in my eyes, his positioning sometimes does get caught out. And then because when he was a few years younger, he had the pace to compromise and reduce the amount of glaring errors and of his positioning, because he had the pace to make it up and doesn't kind of like expose himself that much anymore. But because over the past few seasons, as you know, when you're going over 30, your pace does caught up with you and your body does not respond as quickly as it used to. So in that regard, Patrice Evra had been found out on a couple occasions, against tricky wingers, Sturridge for one prime example, I think. But again, Patrice Evra is still our second or vice captain under Nemanja Vidic, and still has a lot of offer in terms of the dressing room experience again. And when he does play, a lot of young players does look up to him, Rio Ferdinand, Ryan Giggs, for that bit of reassurance when they're on the field, to make them think and relax them. So I think Patrice Evra is still a valuable asset to our team. However, we need to look to the future, and obviously Leighton Baines does seem our number one target. But with Luke Shaw, he's only 17, but he has, everything, I think, to succeed as a great left back. Obviously, left-footed, and he, with his age as well, he has a massive potential. Already playing almost regularly for Southampton last season in the Premier League, showing his, undoubted talent to play at the very highest level. And because of his age, his extraordinary talent is highlighted even more. And I think with the bids around £12 to £15 million, if we do get Luke Shaw, then we will ensure ourselves to have a great left back, English left back as well. That's a bonus for us English fans. We have a great left back for the next 10-15 years, if you like. So I think Luke Shaw, would be the kind of like risky but more exciting signing. Leighton Baines, no doubt in his ability and his pedigree, taking over now the left back role of Ashley Cole, in my opinion. Dead ball specialist, been playing for Everton at the very highest level for the past 5-6 years. So Leighton Baines, no doubting his pedigree, but I think he would be the safer choice. Obviously, he would integrate himself right into the starting 11. I think it would do get him because of his experience. Now he's 28 years old. The fee I think Everton is holding out for is around £20 million. But I think Luke Shaw, if I had my way, obviously we need to go after Patrice Evra that bit more, but I don't think Leighton Baines would be happy to be sitting around. Whereas Luke Shaw, yes, he is wanting to play football week in, week out, but I think he has a massive potential, and so for that sort of X factor and excitement to the fans, I would rather sign Luke Shaw. We already have, a good understudy right now is Alex Boutner, and with the return of Fabio next season, this can make that left back slot very competitive. Whether that means one of them has to move on or Fabio switching more over to the right hand side to cover for Raphael, it's unclear what David Moyes' plans are at the moment. But I think if we do want to sign a left back, I think Leighton Baines would be more of a first choice. But like I said, if I had my way, I would definitely pick Luke Shaw, because in terms of his potential, his price range at the moment is very good, and again, that potential cannot be understated. So my free wish list would be, like I said, Kevin Strootman from PSV, Thiago Alcantara from Barcelona, and Luke Shaw for Southampton. So what do you guys make of my wish list of my free targets? You guys can leave your comment below on who you want to be your targets, and comment on mine as well. So that will be the first part of the video. So now I'll be talking about the second part. The second part I'll be talking about is the potential players who would be leaving the club in order to get new pastures to further develop their careers beyond the Reds. So in the first person or player I'll be talking about is Anderson. Obviously, he's a very popular member within the United dressing room, and Anderson, he is a central midfield player, 25 years of age. So he's coming into that period of his career where he needs to play week in, week out in order to maintain his fitness and also his confidence levels as well. And in the past few years, Anderson has offered glimpses of his potential once again, but largely as his career at United has been unfulfilled from that exciting 18-year-old that we all saw in 2007, 2008. I can't really believe what has happened to him. Obviously, he has massive potential, but Anderson, I think, due to his fitness problems and rumours about weight problem, etc., has really limited his United's career. Like I said, he's a popular member of the dressing room, it seems like, and although it will be a massive loss for morale, I'm sure we'll find another joker out there. But Anderson, I think, if he were to stay, I think he could. I really don't know how he will fit in because of the potential coming in of both Strootman and Thiago. It will make his place even more. But like I said, Anderson has undoubted ability. It's just his fitness is the only reason that's holding him back from maintaining and challenging a first team place in the last 4 or 5 seasons. So that will be my first player to leave United. But like I said, he's a very popular member, and hopefully Anderson will get the best luck in the future in regards to his fitness. So what do you guys think of that potential outgoing of Anderson? The second player I'm going to be talking about potentially leaving United in the summer is a controversial choice because it's to do with Ashley Young. As you know, Ashley Young we signed from Aston Villa a couple of seasons ago, and so far I don't think I'm totally convinced about his ability to play at a very, very top level. Obviously, Ashley Young has proved himself to be a great player in the first few games, in his United career. I remember his debut against West Brom was really promising, but since his injury, that season and the season before, and so that has kind of limited his game, because I don't know whether it's a loss of confidence, because he's almost seemed now scared of taking players on, where he always cuts back on his right hand side. Obviously, everyone knows that is his side is his right hand side, and he prefers to play on the left because it gives him the ability to cut in, but it becomes very predictable to defenders, where although he's a tricky winger, he just cuts on the inside all the time, and it's really frustrating, because sometimes United need a bit of penetration on the left, so that it enables him to cut the ball in, into a dangerous area, a bit of ping ball, and anything could happen in that scenario. So in that regard, I'm not sure what has happened to Ashley Young, whether the injury has played a major part, and also obviously it has disrupted his time at United, but every time I've seen him play, he has occasionally brought his A game, but hasn't done it on a consistent basis where it would merit me to have his full trust. Obviously, a lot of guys will now be saying, "Oh, why haven't you picked Nani instead?" Because he also had a very average season, but on a purely footballing basis and criteria, I would actually pick Nani to stay over Ashley Young, both at the same age, but I think Nani has the bit more of an X factor. I think he is a better footballer in my eyes against Ashley Young, and also, like I said, he has the X factor and he could win games. Also, he is very, very frustrating, like Young, but I think he has give us a bit more penetration because of his trickery, and he's a bit stronger, I guess, than Ashley Young in the past few seasons. Nani also had his injury problems, but if I had my choice, I would definitely sell Ashley Young instead of Nani. But it does seem that Nani is going to leave this summer. I'm not sure whether it will be Monaco or even a more lucrative club like perhaps Juventus or somewhere like Galatasaray. So it's still in debate whether Nani will go. It doesn't seem that Ashley Young will be pushed out, but like I said, if I had my choice, I would definitely be looking at Ashley Young's going rather than Nani. Obviously, we have Wilfried Zaha coming in from Crystal Palace, and he will offer us some more directness and a bit more penetration on the left hand side. He's also a right-footed player, but he's very comfortable taking it down the line and crossing in with his left foot. So in that regard, Zaha might be perfectly suited to play on the left hand side for us when he does come. But again, if I had my choice of selling the current wingers and I had to pick one, I would definitely pick Ashley Young because of his inconsistency and his lack of penetration and kind of like attacking prowess in the last few seasons. So Ashley Young would be my second choice or second player to be going out of the club this summer. And the third and final choice is not really a permanent transfer, but I think Nick Powell could do really well if he does go on loan next season. And I know it's a bit of a cop-out saying that Nick Powell should go on loan, but I think he desperately need of regular first team football in order to kind of develop himself both physically and also mentally and ready himself for the challenging the first team on a regular basis. Nick Powell, I think we all know of his potential, quite tall actually, 6 foot I think, 6 or plus, and he has a deadly right foot, great vision. So, and we all saw that in the under 21s at times last season. I think there's a lot of interest in Nick Powell right now from the Championship and even some of the newly promoted Premier League sides. So Nick Powell, everyone knows about his potential and ability. I think next season will prove a definite kind of like key season to his development, because he is 19 now. So in the next few seasons, he would be looking to claim his place within the United team regularly, or quite on a regular basis, whether not week in week out, but again perhaps getting a good run once every fortnight or something. Now that would be a huge merit in his CV. So Nick Powell, now I think it's a crucial season. I do think David Moyes will be looking for a loan club for Nick Powell, because he has done it in the past with Everton, and I think he realised the potential of Nick Powell, and a comparison would be perhaps at Everton is Ross Barkley, where he has loaned him out on multiple occasions to develop his talent. So I think David Moyes will be wise to be loaning Nick Powell out to secure him first team and regular football to enhance his potential at United. So there you guys have it for my kind of like wish list of who I want to be coming into the club during the summer, and also who I want to perhaps leave United in order to progress their own careers, really. And I don't think they're going to do it here at United, and not going to do themselves justice in their footballing career if they just stay here and rot, sitting on the bench or in the reserve. So again, what do you guys make of this video? Please leave a comment below on any of the players I talked about. Please, type in below who would be your kind of like wish list as well. So, and who you want to get sold within the club. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Please rate, comment and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.